This is a craft that most people have never seen. Pouring a bag of foaming agent into a mold and rotating it around, a mannequin is thus born. Mannequins are clothing stands used to support garments, and common mannequins can generally be divided into display mannequins and tailor-specific mannequins. Today, we will take a detailed look at the entire process of mannequin manufacturing. First, the mold is evenly coated with wax, which makes the material easier to shape and facilitates easier demolding later. Next, we begin installing the neck-fixing components, which are crucial for connecting to the head. This is a key position in the overall structure, making it easier to disassemble, and is considered a clever design in mannequins. Start using screws to lock the mold, ensuring there is not the slightest gap. With the aid of the air gun, each screw is tightly clamped. Next, let's move on to the next stage. Begin mixing the polyurethane foaming agent. Polyurethane, also known as PU foam sealant, is a repair structural material used in various building decorations. After shaking it well and pouring it into the mold, it needs to be applied to the inside of the mold in a short time, without pausing for too long. Once the foaming agent starts expanding at a visibly noticeable speed, you can then use screws to tightly secure the bottom mold. The rest is left to time to let it set and enhance the structural strength. To achieve complete curing, you need to wait for more than an hour. In no time, the curing is complete, and now we begin demolding. The master's small air gun is already covered in dust, but it still works efficiently. In just a short time, a brand new mannequin is formed. Since the surface was waxed beforehand, demolding is effortless and requires no effort at all. The entire body appears white, with exceptionally delicate edges. With the upper part of the mannequin completed, we move on to the next step, which remains the same as before. Before starting, it's necessary to apply a coating on the inside. This step is considered very important because if you forget to wax, it will be extremely difficult to remove the seams later on. Do you know why wooden strips are added in the middle? If metal steel were used as support, the effect might be better. It must be said, the person who invented the mold is truly talented. Without these talents, displaying clothes would certainly be very difficult. A frame cannot achieve this three-dimensional effect and lacks distinct visual layers. Do any of you have friends in the clothing business? Is the price of such polyurethane talent high? Subsequently, the worker continuously rotates the mold to cover the inside, but it is not completely covered within this mold. I wonder if this will affect the product quality. With both the upper and lower parts completed, the most important position is still missing, which is the head of the mannequin. Compared to the previous parts, this head seems to be quite straightforward. Now let's disassemble one and see how the finished product looks. It's smooth and flat, appearing flawless, although the edges seem a bit uneven, but it doesn't affect the overall quality. Prepare to lower the mold directly onto the mannequin. There are many, but it seems a bit difficult to start. Workers need to take a deep breath first. Surely, working in such a factory would definitely not be tiring at all. And one can easily do the job without much effort. Earning a salary of $8,000 shouldn't be a problem. Entering the fine processing stage. After fine processing, both sides of the material are exceptionally clean and smooth. The master's speed at work clearly shows its piecework. Very lively and extremely meticulous. One might think the factory is very far away. People might not believe it, but the average selling price for a person without value is around $300, and the overall price of the talent in the video is estimated to be double that. It's no wonder why the polishing is done so meticulously. Let's move on to the next process. Here, the focus is on the overall external stitching. To achieve the best texture, a layer of high-quality fabric is added to the outside of the mannequin. Only in this way, when people go to buy clothes worth tens of thousands, they won't give up on the purchase due to the mannequin's rough texture. This also aligns with the old saying, a good horse deserves a good saddle. So in high-end stores, not only are the mannequins beautiful, but the salespeople also smile more. First, use pin beads to secure the fabric. Pin beads are small tools similar to safety pins, used for easy removal since they are clearly visible. The formal stapling tool will start from one side and gradually secure upwards. To keep the fabric tight, workers need to stretch the fabric while stapling, which adds considerable difficulty to the sewing process. After a thorough surface inspection, manual sewing begins, mainly focusing on the areas where the pin beads are located on both sides of the lower limbs. Although the master craftsman already has some grey hair, his hands don't shake, and his eyesight is still sharp. He could easily work for another 10 years. Clean and efficient. In no time, the sewing is completed, and the pin beads on the surface are removed. The lower limb part of the mannequin is thus finished, followed by a skilled foot sole pressing to align everything. Placed aside, he can now take a good rest. Begin installing the accessories on the mannequin. This position is used to connect and fix the limbs with the arms through a detachable method, which saves a lot of trouble and doesn't take up extra space during transportation. Applying force to install the arms is the best solution. I wonder if anyone has ever seen such a meticulously crafted mannequin, where even the arms are made with such care. It seems that ensuring the continuation of the lineage is no problem at all. Let's move on to the final assembly stage, and see how the master craftsman installs this exquisite mannequin. First, insert the lower limbs, and then place the upper part. Then, with a firm twist of the arm, it is securely fixed in place. This concludes the entire process of making the mannequin. What do you think of this mannequin?